Hello there. Today I'm taking another look at a Spanish Garnacha, and I'm excited to do so because I actually think some of these Garnachas, old vine vineyards in the Calatayud region of Aragon, are some of the best value wines you'll find around. So this is Evodia Garnacha. It's the 2020 vintage of this, and it's made by a company called Altovinum, and this is actually simply labelled as a Spanish red table wine. It doesn't carry a Calatayud designation, although the fruit, I believe, was sourced entirely from there. Altovinum was founded by somebody called Eric Solomon in conjunction with a Roussillon wine consultant, Jean-Marc Lafarge, and somebody called Yolanda Diaz. And Yolanda is the technical director for Bodegas San Alejandro, and is probably the person who knows the most about the terroirs of this region and the quality of the vineyards of these high altitude sites in the Sierra de Santa Cruz. What we have here is a wine made from fruit sourced from vineyards in 3 villages in this area. So you have Atea, Acred and Alarba. The vineyards tend to be steep slopes with sort of up to 25 degrees steepness and numerous exposures, but there is a commonality in that most of them have very similar slate and quartzite soils, so free draining soils over clay subsoils. The average elevation of the vineyards going into this wine is about 900 metres above sea level, so there's a real cooling influence there, and these are some of the highest sites in Aragon. And this is old vine Garnacha. It's unirrigated, it's trained into bush vines, and they're all sustainably farmed. The fruit was hand harvested and it was partially destemmed, but even the fruit that was destemmed was left as whole berries, so there was no crushing went on whatsoever. Fermentation took place in concrete vats and lasted for 20 days, and there was a gentle 7-day post-fermentation maceration that followed that. The majority of the wine, about 80%, aged for 6 months in concrete tanks, and the remaining 20% was put into neutral old French and American oak barrels or concrete eggs. So let's have a look at the wine, shall we, and see what we make of it. It's a wine that is a relatively dark ruby red, but it's not very deep at all. I mean, that's at best a medium intensity. Looking down through the wine, I can see the stem of the glass really easily. Swirling it, this is 14.5% alcohol according to its label, and certainly it's clinging to the glass, and it's taking a little while actually to form now quite large tears running down the sides of the glass, so that's showing that's a fairly viscous wine. So let's see what we make of the aroma, shall we? There's a red fruit note, but there are also notes of meatiness, earthiness, perhaps touches of spice, perhaps a slightly leathery note. But behind all that, there's a sort of a raspberry and deeper, darker red berry fruit. So let's taste, shall we? The palate is smooth and mellow. There's a warmth and a richness, actually quite a warming, slightly spicy note coming from the alcohol on the mid-palate. That's giving quite a sort of a licoricey concentration there. Sweet licorice, not bitter licorice. It's open and it's juicy fruit. There's almost a slight raisined touch as well. They're not overly so. The wine's attractive, it's open, it's inviting. The structure is fine. There are some tannins, there's some delicate tannins there, but they're not particularly drying or gripping. You know, there's just a little, almost a spice element coming from them. And that follows through to the finish, where there's a red to black fruit, but it seems to be layered with slight sort of tertiary notes. There's a slight meatiness, probably from reduction, and there's a slight sort of forest floor tobacco leaf note. It's a wine with good complexity, good intensity. It's got a lovely smooth structure, and I think that would be really versatile to go with a large number of foods. It's just its warmth and its texture, it's rich and it's inviting, and particularly for winter drinking, I think its concentration would make that very, very suitable indeed. That's coming through from these really old vine vineyards, sort of between 80 and 100 years old. You've got these low yields and this lovely concentration of fruit, and it does just show through there. The flavours are lasting really well. There's a reasonable complexity as well. I wouldn't say this was the finest wine. I wouldn't say that you want to age it. You could probably keep it for 5 or 6 years very happily. But for a wine to buy and drink in the next couple of years that's providing reliable quality drinking with sort of lovely richness and these hints of spice, this is a wine that constantly suggests to me that it's one of the best value wines around. I've tried it on a number of occasions and I've never ceased to be impressed by it. It's certainly a wine I would be happy to drink regularly. So thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the tasting. If you have, do please press the like button, do please share it with your friends. Do consider signing up and following us on YouTube. It would be fantastic to have your support there. Do also please leave any feedback you have in the comments box below. We'd love to know what you think about the wines we're looking at, the tastings we're doing, or anything else that relates to that. More importantly, however, do please make some time and come and join us for another tasting in the near future, won't you? Thanks again. Bye for now.